Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon for some of you in the East Coast and probably other countries sometimes. Welcome to the Saturday morning live stream. Today, we are giving away something great. I'm not telling you what it is until the end of the stream. Let's see. So we need to have 50 people entered into the contest today in order to give away. The consolation prize will probably be a BRS gift card if we don't get 50 people. Um, so get your friends in, get people in. Hopefully we can get 50 people in here so we can give away the good prize. So we were off last week due to the 4th of July. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. And let's see who we got in here. We got most of the regulars. Hatfield's back. Glad to see you, buddy. That means none of us are probably going to win because Hatfield's here. He usually wins every contest. So good luck to everybody else because Hatfield wins all of the contests. Let's see who else we got in here. And we got a bunch of people. Awesome. A couple things. Our buddy Desert Reef Aquatics, I don't know if he's in here, unfortunately has COVID. Surprise, surprise. I guess he's doing fine. I guess it's done now or over. So that's good to hear that he's doing fine. But for those that don't know, we make fun of him pretty much every stream. So you can make fun of him, but he has COVID. So anyway, today we're going to kind of go over coding for specific items that you guys request on the stream. So I've done something like this before where we did look at people's Apex and then make some suggestions for them. But today I'm kind of going to leave it up to you guys to run the stream. You guys are going to be asking some questions, asking specific things, and I'm going to show you how to do it. And that's basically what we're going to do today. Let me get the screen over to here. Okay. So, a couple other things. For those that don't know, I changed out a couple things on my tanks. I am now running algae turf scrubbers. I believe we did a nutrient stream last time, and I love these new algae turf scrubbers. They're made by Foursquare Aquatics. They're quite expensive, but they are doing a really great job for me, and I really love them. They don't leak. They don't have any issues. The growth is amazing on both of them. I've been getting growth after about 3 or 4 days, which is astonishing. So been very happy with them. Again, they're quite expensive. So if you guys want a good, great algae turf scrubber, um, that would probably be the best. I believe so far. It's been really good. Let's see if we have any questions. Ravi switched over from the classic. That's great to hear, buddy. I hope you're liking it. The classic's a lot faster. The classic has a lot more features than, or not the classic, sorry, the 2016 model. It's been great. Um, so Brandon asked, is there a difference in the programming for older Apex system versus the newer ones? There's nothing different in terms of programming, with the exception of you have the ability to control and set up everything through Fusion, and you have the ability to get alerts by probes instead of having to program them in, which I went over a couple weeks ago. But that's really it. I mean, programming wise, they're pretty much the same. Um, so Bob Rolander was asked, can you show how to use power management on the return pump and get an email if return pump has a problem? Yeah, I can show you that. Do you want me to show you the core programming or just a regular control pump? And again, we go into more of a specific conversation because you can only really do that if you have an EB832, which monitors per port power management. Let's see. So Apex. I have an Apex solenoid on my RODI unit. I want to program it to open 4 hours, 2 days a week. Very simple. I will show you how to do that. All right, so let's switch over and we'll show you some stuff. So Bob's question was power management. So to do that, you need to use the tasks. I've been requesting that Apex does this more or less without using a task, but unfortunately that has been the only way to do this. So you go in here and you're going to do a power usage alarm right here. Okay? So this is where you would do it, Bob, right here, power usage alarm. Click on it. You click on which port you want to have that power usage alarm, and then you put your minimum and maximum wattage. I'm not going to do it because I don't use power usage alarms, but this is where you would do it, Bob. So you're going to want to do it through the tasks. There's no other way to currently do it. It is an internal function of the EB832 that needs to be programmed. It's not something that you could program internally inside the outlet itself. So that's where you would do that. So Nick wanted to see a couple programming. So let's go to the training outlet. All right. So I have an Apex solenoid on my RDI unit. I want to program it to open for 4 hours, I'm assuming that's for 4 hours, 2 days a week, is what I'm assuming he's asking. 4 hours, 2 days a week. Okay, so the recommendation here, I would probably do a time. So let's do, if time is 12 to 4 to 16, then on. What I would also do is put a set off here, and then I would do if day of week. So you pick 2 days. So let's do Tuesday, and let's do Thursday. Okay, and that's it. That would be their programming for opening a solenoid for 4 hours, two times a week. That's how I would do it. Okay. Let's see. What is the best use for a 1/4 flow monitor? Won't work on a callus because it's too little. Howard, I don't really like those fourth flow monitors. I think the flow monitors are best for RODI systems, to monitor if your RODI is pushing water through or not. I haven't really found a good use for them. Any thoughts on testing our code to make sure it works, especially for sending out alerts when something goes wrong? Yeah, Mike, just send me a code here and I'll put it in and we'll go over it together here on the stream. Like I said, I did have a stream, I don't know, it was probably a month or two ago where I actually went into people's Apexes and went over a few things. I might do that again. If you have multiple optic sensors, then how can you tell from the Apex which sensor? Okay, so the best way to do this, Brett, is to go to the tree, which is this guy right here. I'll show you where it is. This little tree monitor here, or the system management. And what this will do is it'll show you all of your devices in the system. So if you label everything, which I highly recommend, I can go to my Fish MM and then I can see what is on that Fish MM. If I go to my Reef FMM2, I can see what's on my Reef FMM2. So there's another way to do it. If you're not sure what's what, you can actually click on the port and it will tell you it's digital switch 2 on fluid monitoring module named garage FMM2 at address 9. So it actually tells you right here. And if you want to know which one that is, it's address 9, and then you go to your module settings, which are going to be right here. This is your modules right here. And then it will show you your address right here on the left. So this is how you're able to get to that particular device. Okay. I need a new Apex ready return pump approximately. So, John, I really love my Core 20. It's really nice. It really works well. However, I'm going to actually tell you you might want to look at a Versa. I love the Versas for really high output because they do a lot better for high output. Also, the Varios are really nice pumps too. If I have a battery backup on my Apex variable speed controlled A biz pump at 4, how can what program that will ramp down the percentage of the pump to 0 when the main pump shuts off? How can I'm assuming what the program that will ramp down the percentage of the pump to 0 when the main power shuts off a certain time? Uh, I'm kind of confused, but I think I can figure this out. So you're going to want to do a profile more than likely for this. Profiles are the folder icon, and you want to make a profile that does a ramp, and you're going to ramp. You're going to set your time to what you want your ramp time to be. Your starting intensity is more than likely what your pump is normally. So let's say your pump is normally 50%. The end intensity would be 0, and let's say you want it to take, I don't know, 10 seconds to do it. This would be your ramp profile, and then what you do, Brian, is you'd call this, I don't know, pump ramp. And then what you do with the pump ramp is you would tell it when the power goes out or when it shuts the power off, you want it to ramp it to 0. So that's how you would do it that way. I think that's what you were asking, so I apologize if you weren't. Programming for shutting Skimmer 4 hours and slowing core for something to stop Skimmer from filling when it starts. Yeah, so I have this already done in my system because I experienced the same problem, Howard. Um, you're going to really want to put in your feed mode. Um, let's see, Skimmer. You'll see that in my feed mode here for my Skimmer, I have a 15-minute defer. So what that does is it stops the skimmer until basically 15 minutes. I chose 15 minutes. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 3 minutes. You defer the on, so that way whenever you're shutting something off or slowing something down, it's going to shut off the skimmer or turn on the skimmer for 15 minutes, and therefore it's not going to overflow, and you can set that to whatever you want. I think that's what you're asking. Programming a shutting skimmer 4 hours and slowing down is something to stop the skimmer from filling when it starts up with more water in the sump. So that's how I do it. I defer it so it doesn't come on for until the sump is where it needs to be. Let's see. It's about to install my Trident. Awesome. So for those that don't know, on YouTube, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be giving away a Trident. I have it. I've had it for a while. Still waiting. I think we're at about 730 or so people on our YouTube channel. So once we hit 1,000, we're going to be giving away a Trident. Is there a way to control the skimmer power based on water level? I mean, technically you could with optical sensors. You could put a bunch of optical sensors and set your skimmer to turn on a specific wattage or specific voltage. But I think that's just too much programming on folks. I think it's better just to, like I said, defer it for a little while. But you need optical sensors. You need something to sense what the water level is, and then you can program based on that. So I wouldn't recommend it, but I can see it being possible. So um, let's see. So like I said today, guys, it's all answering questions. So I don't really have a specific topic. I'm just going to go over people needing help with things and specific programming requests, and I'll show you how to do it. Let's see. So we only have 19 people entered in the contest, by the way. Remember, we need 50 people to give away what we're giving away today, and I'm not going to tell you what it is until the end. Um, Milton is, yeah, so tell me specifically what you need, Milton, and we'll go over it. Is there any way to clear the dosing amounts in the dose display? There is not. The dosing amounts is based off of, I believe it's 24 hours of dosing. So you can see on mine yesterday at 10 a.m., which is what time it is right now, it dosed 4.8 milliliters. So as you can see, it is a 24-hour, and there's no way to clear that. A couple new guys I haven't seen before. Brockton, welcome, my friend. We've got a couple new guys I have never seen before. Nick, I believe I've never seen you. Welcome. Brett, Mike, Spencer. I got a guy, Ira Roberts. Welcome, everybody, all the new guys here. Good to see new faces or new people. How would you set up a non-OEM dosing container? Non-OEM. I'm assuming you're meaning a non-Apex dosing container. Is that correct? I don't know. I assume that's what you're asking. To go back to my question in the profile, what outlet would I choose to control if the power goes off? If this is on battery, it won't know when the power is off yet. Um, I would do the Apex power off. I would do the power off command with the Apex power management, which I did a video on. If power is off, then on. And then it would recognize if the Apex doesn't have power. That would probably be the best for that. Trying to think if there's another way to do that. You might have to have some type of power wattage management, but they don't have that right now per outlet, because that would be the great thing. So Drama D, I need my Reef Lake to update. So actually Mobius updates the MP40s. The Reef Link does not. I actually got rid of my Reef Link because the Mobius is now controlling my Versas and everything. So there's no reason to do that. So you actually get rid of the Reef Link. Let's see. We're considering getting an Apex system. As a novice as it sounds, my girlfriend wants to ask, is coding necessary? Simpler ways to program an Apex. So, Justin, I have a lot of videos on how to program very basic stuff and also very advanced stuff. There are tasks. So this little guy right here, tasks, will pretty much program most of the most important things, and it will do it for you. Obviously, we get into really advanced topics on my stream, but to answer your question, there are very simple ways to do simple things. So let's say you have a heater, Reef heater. Now, obviously, I'm programming more advanced stuff, but if I go to my control type, I can actually pick a heater, and it will actually program the heater for me. So I actually do not need to do any advanced programming. So, and Justin, of course, we got our Facebook group, and we got a bunch of people here that can help you program anything on the Apex. So just want to make sure that you use us for help, because that's what we're here for. Let's see. We did have a question from Aaron, I believe, had a question, and I did not answer it. You might have to ask the question at OEM dosing containers, I think is what you were saying. So for those that don't know, there's a guy out here. If you type in, I've probably viewed it before. Let's see. Um, let's see my recently viewed items. Here it is. So this is how my recommendation. It looks like um, relisted. Let's see, where did he put it? Okay, so this guy right here looks like he raised the price a little bit. It used to be $45, but this is how you can use any reservoir on your dose to know um, what the percentage is or how much liquid is left in any container. It doesn't have to be a DDR. So I'm not sure if that's what you were asking, but that's what I would recommend. Um, Brett was asking, is there a way to graph daily alkalinity consumption over the past weeks? Um, Now you're asking consumption, so I would assume when we talk about consumption, we're talking about a trident, because consumption would provide you with what your consumption technically is, because it would tell you what your alkalinity is per day. Otherwise, Brett, you're going to have to manually enter your alkalinity on a daily basis to get your daily consumption using the measurements tab, which is the little beaker looking thing. And you click up here and you can actually enter your alkalinity manually every day. So if you have a Trident, it's going to obviously automatically test, and therefore you can get your consumption. Let's see. Okay, so Milton's question, I keep getting an ATK error. I recently installed a sensor on switch FMN. The sensor in the reservoir, let me know when it is empty. I need to task to install it. What codes are needed? All right, so let's go through this. I need to get getting an ATK error. I don't know exactly what you mean by ATK error. I'm assuming you're getting an alarm that says your ATK is doing something. This sensor is the reservoir to let me know when it is empty. I used a task to install it. What codes are needed? Okay, so all you need to do, Milton, is first of all, we need to figure out what that sensor is. So, like I was telling a gentleman earlier, I think it was Brett who asked, we need to figure out where that sensor is. So to do that, you're going to click on the little tree icon here, Milton. You click on this guy and the tree. I call it the tree icon, but it's actually the system icon. Now, obviously, I have a ton of stuff, so you're going to find the FMM, and then you're going to find that sensor. So, for instance, let me see if I can zoom out on this. So this is sensor 1, this is sensor 2, this is sensor 3. Okay? So you need to find out what that label is. That's how you're going to find out what the label is. Okay? So for mine, it's called F leak 5. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to go into your email outlet, because I'm assuming you want to be alerted, and you're going to put in that what we just put. So you're going to say if F leak, and in this case it's 3, or the third sensor, is closed, then on. So what this is going to do, Milton, is when that third sensor, when number 3 gets water or feels water or doesn't feel water, depending on how you want to do it, then you're going to turn it on. Now, in your case, let's see, you did, let me go back to your question so I can make sure I give you the right coding here. Where are you? Where are you? I gotta look at all this stuff here. I think you were saying is if your reservoir does not have water, so when it's empty. So you're going to actually say if leak is open, then on, because you want to know when your water is gone. So that's how you would do it. If leak 3 open, then on. I always put a defer statement at the bottom, so that way when it doesn't have water, it has to wait 20 seconds before it alerts you. So that way, if the water is kind of fluctuating or going up and down, it's not going to keep sending you alerts. So you're going to also want to put a defer for the on there, and that's how I would do it. So hopefully that helps you. So Rogue asks, do I need newer MPU60 to be compatible with the Mobius because of the RF chip? I do not believe so. I could be wrong, but I do not believe so. I believe it works with the older and newer chips. That's correct, Reef and Robbie. It's a software update that makes that is absolutely correct. They just came out with it actually actually like a week ago. D Wits, you are totally welcome, buddy, and thank you for coming into the new stream to the live stream. If you have any questions about anything, now is the time to ask them. Is there a way to set up a relay box to shut off a heater that is too large to plug into the EB8? That is a interesting question. There is a heater that is too large, so I don't understand what you mean by too large. The EB832 should be able to program that no problem, or work with that no problem. I've never heard that before. Um, let's see what else. What's up, Spinsense? Spinsense, haven't seen you in a while. He won one of the giveaways a while back. But to Nick's question, is there a way to set up a relay box to shut off? So unfortunately, Nick, Apex doesn't make relay boxes. They make solenoids or 24 volt, um, 24 volt powered outputs. They don't have relays. So you would need some type of 120 volt to dry contact or relay connection. So let me show you kind of what I mean. Amazon has these. So you're looking for a 120 volt to relay, and all it is this little guy, and all it does is it basically turns on and off a relay based on if it has power. So since Neptune doesn't have a relay output, this would work for you. So this is just a 120. You plug it into one of your Apex outlets, which then turns on and off a relay. That's all it does. So that would definitely work for you, Nick. Yeah, I think where is that? Yeah, Drama D, that might work. An Inkbird, I don't know if an Inkbird supports an 800 watt heater. You'd have to check on the specs to see. Um, Brian, I have 300. Yeah, I kind of agree. I've never heard of a heater drawing too many amps or for the Apex. I think it has a 15 amp output on there. Uh, Anthony had a really good idea too. Ron, they have 120 relays. They don't have dry contact relays, which is what I think Nick was asking. Do they have dry contact relays? Um, so, but yeah, there's a way to get a relay. Let's check the contest. So we only have 19 people entered into the contest. So we're gonna need how many people we have in the stream? We're gonna need 25 to give away the BRS gift card, and we're gonna need 50 to give away the item I was gonna be giving away. And it looks like we have 18 minutes left before the contest is closed. So if you haven't entered the contest, you know the command to do so. Hopefully it's working. Let's see, Corey Page entered, and I don't see his name on here. So I don't know if the contest decided to be stupid, which it sometimes does. Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, let me turn it back on and off, and then we'll try again. It's been acting weird today. It was acting weird earlier, so I might have to reset it, which sometimes happens, unfortunately. Um, let's see. It's okay. That's why we're checking, guys. I want to make sure it's working because I started to notice people weren't getting confirmations. So I want to get it working again. Must be COVID. Yeah, everything's COVID. Everything's not working because of COVID. Uh, so we might have to restart the contest, guys, unfortunately, because I want to make sure everybody gets entered. And it seems to be working now. I just got 21. There we go. Okay, I think it's back to working now. So if you don't see your name here, just with the quick glance, go ahead and enter the contest again. And just remember, in order to win, you have to participate in the stream. So if you haven't asked a question, you need to ask a question. So I'm seeing a lot of people in the stream that haven't asked a question or haven't participated, and unfortunately, you can't win if you don't participate. So anyway, it seems to be working again. If you don't get the you have entered into the giveaway confirmation, that means you have not entered into the giveaway. So I just want to let you know how it works if you're new. There we go. We got a few more people getting in. Okay, so let's get back to what we were doing. I'm glad I caught that. If my mods notice that ever, just let me know so I don't I don't miss it. All right. So let's see. Oh, it looks like my alkalinity is dropping for some reason. I normally keep my alkalinity about 8.5. Can you invite a woman guest that does reefing? I'll try. Yeah. I mean, usually I invite specific people based on automation type guests, but yeah, I have a couple people I could ask to be on if they're willing. Absolutely. Um, so Corey Page has the old calcium reagents getting low craziness. So that is a known issue, Corey. There are a couple people out there that have made these little. There's a guy named DC Reefer and there's a guy named Siraj that makes these little triangular um, stick holder things. I don't know what the hell they are, and they seem to help with what you're asking. I have a bunch of them, so I mean I can give you some if you're interested. Just hit me up on Facebook. But I'm going to be giving them away with the um, I'm going to be giving them away with the Trident giveaway. But that seems to fix that problem. When will Neptune release an Apex Ready LED? Brian, there is a ton of Apex Ready LEDs. So I don't know exactly how to answer your question, but what I will tell you is all of AI lights work with Apex and they are Apex Ready. Any Apex Ready light that has a 3.5 millimeter input for 0 to 10 can be controlled with an Apex. There are also Ecotech Marine generations 1 through 4 can work with a WXM, which is also considered Apex ready. So Apex is making their own LED. They've already kind of mentioned that. The Drama D, it's actually Harry's Aquatics, just so you know. Let's see. My Apex lost connection to my waves went to 100, but first it was set to off. Okay, so Lee, you have to do a fallback. So um, what fallback does, and a lot of people ask me this question all the time, is if that device was to lose communication to anything, it's going to set it to a specific percentage or off in your case. If you lost connection, you would probably want it to go to a specific percent. So you would just say fallback 20 or fallback 30, and this would be in your wave. And that's how you would do the fallback if it loses communication. So I'm assuming you don't have a fallback. Fallback is for any time the apex loses communication to something. Let's see. How do I program Noctura fans using the 24 volt using a step down converter? Same. It would be the same thing as a. I'm assuming you're talking about a 12 volt device. So I have a step down converter. It's the same thing. It's just an on and off. When using the 24 volts, they're just on and off. There's no percentage, so you can't adjust the fan percentage. but it would just be a simple on and off. What are some required components you would suggest having with an Apex EL? We're most concerned with dosing, but is there anything else you would strongly suggest? So with an Apex EL, from my understanding, if I can remember, the Apex EL does not have salinity. So I would probably recommend a salinity probe so you can monitor your salinity. Let's see what else. Probably gonna get people to chime in as well what their suggestions are. But Kaylee, I believe salinity is very important to know. Let's see. I mean, a trident, of course. I would always recommend a trident if you can afford it. Because knowing your percentages or knowing your alkalinity is extremely important. Let's see. Maybe a feeder. Maybe you could do an ATK for your auto water top or your auto top off. I would highly, strongly suggest a leak device such as an FMM with leak sensors, and I'm sure everyone on here knows I'm a big fan of leak sensors. So absolutely a leak sensor. Let's see. Any other questions here? When do you have to use set commands? That's a really good question, Anthony. You only need to use set commands when you're offsetting something with a command that turns something off or on. And what I mean by that is, I'll give you an example. My fish pump here, I always want to be on. Always. The only time I want it to be off is if there's a leak or if I turn on my maintenance. Anytime the fish maintenance is on, right, I want it to turn off my pump. But what if fish maintenance is not on? I would have to put in here, if I didn't have a set command, I'd have to put if output fish maintenance equals off, then on. So I'd have to offset it. The set command automatically does that for me. So that's the reason for a set command, is it has to have basically a, what's the best word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. What you normally want the outlet to be doing when you're not programming anything else. So you need to have a set command there if you want the output to default. That's the word. If you want the output to default to something, it needs to have a set command. Let's consider the set command a default command. And that's where the set command is important. Can I get elk going up? Tell if something is going wrong. If the trident was showing me elk come out crazy normally. Yeah, you can produce a reef. You could just program a alkalinity command. So let's say you want to email here. It's my email outlet. I can say if, and I think it's called relk, is greater than, let's say 9, then on. This would alert you if the alkalinity was to be going up. Okay. I got a 3D printed button. Let's see, Colt G. I got a 3D printed button thing that plugs into the breakout box, but when I hit a button, it doesn't open or close the Apex item. Is it broken? It could be. The way that you could test this, Colt, is to get a DIN plug, which is what the 3D breakout box outlet looks like. Cut it, and you would need what's called a continuity tester, and you get these two plugs. You put one on and one on, and it tells you if the button is being connected or not. And that's really the only way you can test it. Rick Campos, how would you program an EB8 outlet with an EPERG temp controller? It would just be like any other heater. So, fish heater. You go in here to heater, for instance, and you just program an offset. Now, there's a number of people on there that like to go back and forth which one's the primary and which one's the secondary. I always believe that the Inkbird should be your secondary and the Apex should be your primary. So what I would do is always set the Apex outlet for a lower margin of error, and then your inkbird for the higher margin of error. So let's say you wanted your inkbird to do heat between, like we have, 78 and 79. You'd set your inkbird to 77 and 80. You'd set your apex to 78 and 90. And that's how I would do it. Like I said, everyone has their own opinion on this. I like the inkbird to be the secondary and the apex to be the primary. Um, what things do you automate off your ORP? I strictly automate my ozone because I use ozone in my system. So all of my ozone is based off of my ORP. Let's see. All new viewers, be sure to enter the contest. Yes, yes. Jordan says this looks really confusing. So I don't. Apex is not confusing. My system is confusing, uh, but Apex is not confusing. I have a number of videos out there that go over just very basic Apex programming. And then, of course, I have videos that go over very advanced programming for us crazy people. So, Jordan, I know it looks confusing. I can tell you that I have a programming background, so for me, it's quite natural for me to figure this out. Just be able to figure it out. But they have tasks right here, Jordan, and I go over this quite a bit with a lot of people that basically program for you. It does it all for you. So there's really nothing to it. When you have a new Apex system set up, you're going to want to use tasks until you kind of get used to how the programming works. Let's see. Can't seem to get a reply from. Share your Alexa commands. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up, guys. I have a leak detector that has an older phone jack for the ALD. Is there was I can use it? I can find an ALD mod. Can you cut the plug? Um, sort of. I'll explain that in a second, Drama. What ATOs are compatible with this? Every ATO is compatible with Apex. ATOs are typically standalone systems that just need power. Obviously, if you get really advanced, Jordan, you can do an ATK, which Apex makes, and you can have a little more programming that you can do with it with custom stuff. But any ATO would work with Apex. How can you set up custom feed modes? Sleet Stack, I'll need a little more information on that. What are suggestions for control with a breakout box? I have a cabinet lights and I like to put a float switch on my skimmer when the cup is full, but I will still have 4 empty slots. Yeah, buttons are good. Leak sensors. Go on eBay, you can find leak sensors. I know Brian Bench knows where they are. He has a ton of them. They're connected for the breakout box. I think a leak sensor would be great for your 4 empty slots. Um, which ATO is best with Apex? I'm gonna kind of go back to what I said earlier. Any ATO is best with Apex. There's really, ATOs are self-contained systems. So I like the Tunzi controller osmolator. I think it's one of the best ATOs ever made. Um, and again, it doesn't matter because it's not really best with Apex because Apex is just going to power it on and off. If you go with an ATK that Neptune makes, then you have a lot more flexibility. I have my own do-it-yourself ATOs, so I have a ton of programming behind my ATOs, and I can't really go over it on the stream because there's just so much. If I clicked on my Reef ATO, your head would spin. So I have a bunch of crazy stuff going on with my ATOs. Um, but again, for basic systems, any ATO will work. Do you think the wave engine will be good for multiple pumps? I think so, absolutely. Um, I do not have Harry's new light box. He said ship it. I'm waiting for it. When I get it, I'll play with it. Let's see. Yeah, 2 years will be a programming lunatic. Yeah, for those that don't know, I've been programming for about 20 years. Not Apex, obviously, but yeah. I put the Inkbird chamber. Yeah, I make sure I put the Inkberg temps probe in another chamber in the sun in case it grows dry, it explodes. That's a good idea, Colt. Uh, uh, Yeah, so Anthony mentioned you can cut the connector and put your own connector on there. They're the same colored wires, so as long as you know what color matches what, you can do that. I want to put an EB8 in the garage for water station. Any way to do this wireless, or do I have to get an extension wire? You have to get an extension wire, unfortunately. They don't have anything wireless. Brett Miller, you keep entering the contest, and I'm assuming you're already in the contest. You are at the bottom right here, so you don't have to enter the contest anymore. Finding the ALD has been unsuccessful. Yeah, you can use an FMM and just convert it using a 3.5 millimeter. I'm using a Tunzi ATO for my frag tank. Yep, it's a fantastic device. Um, yeah, Drama D said you have to extend the USB. Unfortunately, there's no way to do that otherwise. So let's see where we're at with the contest. We have 1 minute left. We need 10 people to give away the big prize. Otherwise, we're going to be giving away a BRS gift card, just so you know, guys. The big prize, we need 50 people. So I don't know how many people we have in the stream because my software decides not to tell me how many people are on the stream anymore. So, um, hey Glenn, what's going on, man? You might as well enter the contest. Do you use trident controlled dosing? I love it, Comic Reef. I definitely use trident controlled dosing. I have a entire video dedicated to trident controlled dosing, but I can show you it real quick. So here's my trident controlled dosing. I love it because it's able to do the every part of the day. It's able to deduce what the alkalinity is, so that way it can keep it stable even day and night, which I love. Um, Producer Reef, it is updating. It's just it does have a delay. There's about a 10 to 15 second delay before it actually enters them. Um, let's see. So yeah, I love trident controlled dosing. I did a whole video on it. I'm not sure who asked, but what else can I use the one leak module for? You can use it for anything that's 24 volt. Otherwise, you have to use only Neptune devices that support the one link control. Yeah, I have two WXMs. I don't know what's going to happen, and to be honest with you, Mark, I hope they come out with more devices that are Apex compatible. Um, so let's see. Oh, what's up, Pappy? I think he won last time. So it closed, and we have 42 entries. So we'll be giving away a BRS gift card. Unfortunately, we didn't hit 50. So just to let you guys know. Let's see. Is there a way to get notified if I leave the pump off for a period of time? Yes, there is. It's called a when statement, and I'll show you how to do that. So if we go to our training outlet, the contest is closed, so if you try to enter it, you will not get entered. Um, okay, so very simple, Macy's Daddy. You're going to use a when statement. Okay, when statements are awesome. So when a pump has been on, or in your case, you want to know if it's been off. So if it's been off for, I don't know, let's say 10 minutes, then on. So this is, you'd put this when statement in your your pump outlet. Okay, so when it's been off for this long, then you want it to come on. Okay, so let me see. Or no, you want it to. I don't think you want it to turn on. I mean, it doesn't matter actually. When on more than you can say. I think that's the command. I could be wrong. Let me go look. It's been a while since I've done a when statement. I think it's ATO here. Yeah, so I was right. So I'm assuming you want it to turn off. That's my assumption. If it's been on for a period of time, you don't want it to turn on. You want it to turn off. So you'd say when off for a period of time, stay off, right? So you put the when statement in the command right there. You'd go to your email or your alarm, and then you'd put this, if error. Okay? So what you're doing here is basically if the outlet has been on for a period of time, or off in your case, keep it off, but I want you to send me an error that tells me that the when statement has been on for that period of time. So that's what this would be able to notify you. If I'm confusing you, Macy's Daddy, take a look at my when and error video because it explains exactly how to do this. But that's how you would do it. You'd put a when statement into the pump outlet, and then you'd put an error statement into the email. So what it does is it basically checks the when statement. If the when statement's been um, satisfied, then send me the error. Okay. Okay, let's see. I have a few calcium for the Apex program, the probe to work with the Trident. Yeah, I have a Drama D. I have an actual video for calcium reactor programming with a Trident. If you want to take a look at that. Uh, do not calibrate an ORP probe ever. That's just my opinion on that. They're calibrated out of the factory. I think all of the Apogee power meters are fantastic. Just make sure you get the correct one that's meant for LEDs if you have LEDs. Let's see. On a when statement, can you set it so it turns back to auto? You cannot do that, unfortunately. You have to, it's kind of a, hey, you need to go back and take a look kind of thing. Yeah, Macy's Daddy, I would definitely do the when statement. Notified if a pump is off, like you forgot to turn it back off. Yes, just do a when statement, put a time in there, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then it will alert you. Thank you, Comic. I really appreciate it. Spread the word, sir. Spread the word. We need 1,000 subs on our YouTube, and then we're going to be giving away a Trident. So, and if you guys aren't part of the Facebook group, you have to be in order to win the contest. So, check out the Facebook group as well. Uh, let's see. Does the probe have a shelf? Does a probe have a shelf life? Um, I'd get a lot of people probably arguing with me on this. But I'm gonna say it does. I've had probes that I've had sitting in my storage for 5 years, and I put them in my tank, and they seem to be okay. um, I don't know if the new Apogee shows a live graph. I haven't actually looked at it. So yeah, Lucas, if you don't have Facebook, you can't win the contest, unfortunately. But all the people that are trying to enter the contest was closed already, and we had 42 people enter. So if you're late to the party, you can't enter the contest. That's just the rules of my contest. You have to be here, and unfortunately, that's how we do the contests. Do you have any experience using the ReefPie software? Recently supported 11 and kicks with a small PCB. I do have a little bit of experience with it, Lucas, and I think it's okay. I mean, my opinion, and I think most people on here are going to probably also agree with me that I like having anything on my reef tank. I like having a warranty. I like having support. I like having someone I can call and say, "Hey, this isn't working. Can you help me?" Um, I'm not a do-it-yourself kind of guy when it comes to my reef tanks. I know a lot of people out there do it. For those that don't know me personally, I'd rather spend the money on something that has a warranty, that has backing, that has support. You're going to usually hear me talking about Apex because I have a lot of Apex and I know it very well. I'm going to start learning GHL very soon, and I know a lot about other products on the market. But anytime we do anything that's do it yourself, or anytime we do things that are not warranted or not backed by anybody, I generally don't recommend them. That's just my own personal opinion. Um, and yes, I think Facebook is also evil, but unfortunately for this contest, that's how we do it. There's reasons for it. I'm not going to get into it, but basically, unfortunately, you have to do that. Alerts for power monitoring. So SleeStack, in order to do that, you have to have an EB832. You go to tasks. We actually went over this earlier. Um, and you go down to power usage alarm, and that's how you set up your power monitoring. And you just pick the power outlet you want and what you want your maximum and minimum to alert you on. Okay. Bob, a couple weeks said he was looking for a person to do automation stream with. I'm not going to do an automation stream with Mark. Uh, Sorry, guys, my camera has a timeout for 30 minutes, so if it goes black, that's what happens. Let's see. Well, if DKH is greater than 10, then on is this code. It is correct, Brett, based on only if your alkalinity is called DKH. So, for instance, in my tank, um, if I go to my probes, which are the little, it's under here, my DKH is actually called something else. So it depends on what yours called. Mine's called R-elk. So as long as that's the correct nomenclature, I guess is the right word, then that is correct. The contest is closed. I see people trying to enter. You have to be here within the first 45 minutes. After that, the contest is closed. So if you're trying to enter, you cannot. Brian, I don't know of any other way to do that. So if you tell me there's another way to do power alarms per outlet, I would love to see it. Let's see. Desert Reefer has COVID. I mentioned this earlier in the stream. Unfortunately, I don't know if he's going to be here today. But yeah, unfortunately, he's down and out. I don't know what he's doing. Yes, Brett, DHHL is very complicated in comparison to Apex. It also looks like Windows 8. Uh, I don't think so, Glenn. You know, they'll say that you do. I don't think so. I mean, you could recalibrate it. It takes an hour and a half, but I just don't see the point of that. They say in the manual, you know, if you're moving it or some nonsense. I don't think you have to move it or recalibrate it. Um, yeah, Desert Reefer has COVID. If you really want to know, he decided not to wear a mask, and what do you know? He got COVID. But that's another story for another day. Uh, what's up, Johnny Martinez? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're getting at about an hour, so we're going to be closing up pretty soon. Yeah, he's fine. You know, he's a young kid. He's doing fine. So I spoke to him the other day. You had luck with covering of electrical plate holes in the enclosure. So Brian knows something I don't know apparently. So it's watts. If output plug strip watts, they must have changed it because that didn't work for me. But according to Brian, and Brian's awesome, we're gonna go with him. And apparently, if you want to do outlets, you can do it that way. So if output, this is a new command that I am just learning now. If output, let's see, fish. Oh, let's see, not fish. What do I have on? Chiller. I have a chiller on my EB832. Reef chiller. Watts is greater than 100, then on. Let's see if that works. Look at you. Well, Brian, I owe you. I owe you. You taught me something. All right, folks. So I guess I'm gonna do a video on this. I know I haven't been doing many videos, so this would be a good one to do. I'm gonna do a video on this later. How about that? So this is how you can manually program without going through tasks a wattage ability on an outlet. I did not know that they had this. I know that there is a wattage or power management for an entire EB8 or entire EB4, but I didn't know that you could do it per output via programming. So awesome, man. Brandon, you can hijack the stream. I don't care. As long as you're not stupid Desert Reef Aquatics who comes on here and trolls me, you guys can talk about whatever you want. I don't care. So I guess we're going to doing a video on this at some point. All right. Let's see. Can I run a max fit gyre pump on an EB8 and just let the pump controller and not the apex? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Corey, that's a good question. Brian, do you have the answer? Because I would assume you have to have an 832 to get outlet wattage. I agree. I don't like tasks for alarm, and I don't like alarms from the devices. I totally agree with you, Brian. I just did not know that you could manually program this. I thought it was only through tasks because every time I've spoke to Neptune, they told me to do it through tasks, and now I'm learning something. So I don't know where you found this information, but I did not know that there was the ability in which to program this manually. So there you go. Hey, I admit when I'm stumped. All right, guys. So in order to win the contest today, which is going to be a $100 gift card to Bulk Reef Supply, you must have been active in the channel and asked some questions. And yeah, that's how our contests work. Again, you have to have Facebook. You have to PM me after the stream on Facebook. I will type in my name if people don't know my name on Facebook, and let me know you are the winner. And unfortunately, we didn't hit 50 people today. Maybe next week we'll hit 50 people, and we will give away the surprise, which I'm not telling you what it is. So maybe next week we'll hit 50, and we can give that away. So. Any questions before I run the contest? Thank you everybody for coming today. Appreciate all the support. Again, remember if we can get 1,000 people on the YouTube, we can get 1,000 subscribers. We will be giving away a Trident. So I do have the Trident. It is sitting in my storage waiting for someone. So what else? What else? Yeah, hopefully you guys liked it. So hit the thumbs up if you liked it today. Too bad Desert Reefer wasn't here so we can make fun of him, but sometimes we just have to go at it. I have asked Terrence from Neptunes to be on the stream, so hopefully he will be on the stream soon for Neptune stuff. If you guys have any other ideas for streams or videos, please let me know. I'd love to make more videos and streams to help you guys out. And if you guys want any specific guests on, let me know, and I'll try to get them on. Jordan, I'm glad it helped. Again, I am always available if you're having any issues. Hit me up during the weekends. During the week, I'm busy, usually working. But take a look at all my videos. They usually will help a lot of people that are really scared. And the whole reason we started this channel and the Facebook group is to help people that are scared. That's the whole point of this, to make it easy for you guys. So what this means is that you must be reading off of pH, because that's not DKH. So if DKH is greater than 10, I don't know why it's asking for pH. Maybe put 10.0. Put a point there. Brett, put 10.0 instead of just 10. See if that works. All right. So let's run the contest. We have 42 in here. This is for a $100 Bulk Reef Supply gift card. To the winner, make sure you message me after the stream is done. So the winner today is who is the winner today? Let's see. The winner today, which is not producing on the channel for some reason, is Lee Wisnoff. You are the winner today, sir. So Lee, if you are in the channel, please say something. I know you've participated. I saw a couple questions from you. So please let me know you are still here. If not, we will rerun it. And I will show you guys, just so you know, I'm not pulling your chain, but Lee was the winner. Yeah, for some reason the contest was acting weird today. I don't. Sorry guys, if you entered and it didn't go through, it was either because it was after the timer, which I saw some of you guys, or like I said, I had to restart it. So I'll take a look. This contest sometimes has some issues, but you know what? It's so much easier for me. I don't know if you guys remember back in the beginning when I used to have to type in everyone's name, and that would just, oh my God, I couldn't concentrate on the stream. So, but yeah, thanks guys for coming. Yeah, next week, hopefully I can have Terrence on. And if you guys come up with any topics or any videos that you want, specifics, let me know. Again, we try to keep it automation related, but you know, we always talk about anything reef. So anyway, hope you have a great weekend. I will talk to you later.